Both of the gentlemen now coming to the stage have many honors. Two honors that they have in common are they are both Tuskegee Airmen, and they have both been inducted into the Arkansas Black Hall of Fame. Here now to induct a fellow airman, please welcome Milton Crenshaw and Dr. Granville Coggs.
Waiting on this old man, see, so.
Stand beside this man, my icon.
To the governor, to the Mr. Charles Stewart, we're starting off this Black Hall of Fame, and it just happened that I'm introducing, and I think Mr. Hodges introduced me 5 years ago, so I'm going to try to be as nice in my 2 minutes as possible. This is one of the wonderful friends that I've had that came through Tuskegee. And it says, when you know you're great, there's one thing, but when the world acknowledges your greatness, that's a feeling that humbles you and gives you satisfaction for a job well done. If I had known that Mr. Hodges was from down in Mariana, my father came out of Mariana when he was in slavery. I was named after him, Milton Crenshaw, and he was born in 1853, and I was born a few years after that, see. So, and then as we go through life, we come to the conclusion that as Mr. Hodges went to Hampton after me, I went to Tuskegee because Booker T. Washington came to Arkansas and dedicated the Mosaic Temple. So naturally, I was going to go there with no money, but at the same time, I had a good understanding. He said he's spending his formative years on a farm. This is called Farm Boy graduation. He graduated valedictorian. His principal convicted him to attend Hampton Institution. Hampton Institution was the father of Tuskegee. Booker T. Washington finished Hampton, came down south to Alabama and started Tuskegee work school. So I went down there to work, and I did a great job from Arkansas. And so to let you know that I was fortunate enough, following a hunch from God, to attend, and as I tell people, I think I have the minister that just got down here from Illinois out of St. Mark's, and I talked to his 250 boys, and I told them about how great God is, and to get a good education, the next thing you know, you'll be in the money-making business. So she says that Mr. Hodges graduated, came to Tuskegee from Hampton. I was the flight commander, and Roscoe Draper was his instructor, and by the virtue that he's from Arkansas, well, he and I went to the understanding of trying to get anybody from Arkansas through. That was my job, is to make sure that they all became famous. And as the information that you have received this afternoon proves that we have turned out a great number of people. I talked with Colonel Robertson, and he's one of my great friends there. In fact, when he saw me and when I saw that he was in charge of the 180th group there, this is the largest aviation Arkansas dedication business of people that fly constantly around the world distributing all kinds of things that we have had. Now, we've come all the way from flying a little PT Cub, and I talked, and so I gave him a check ride in a PT Cub, not realizing that there were going to be a number of Arkansasians. I think my lady told me to call them Arkansans, is that right? So we were in the process of graduating these Arkansan people, and I think that they have made a great contribution to this country and to the war efforts. Someone asked me one time if this was true about the Red Tails. I said, this man wanted to make money. And what's any better than having black people up here where we can make gobs of money off of what they can do, and they can do it well, whatever they try to do. As I told the young lady there that Mr. Hodges is a good friend of mine. He introduced me when I came into the Black Hall of Fame a few years ago. He was young, debonair, and ready to do, but he too has twin daughters. And one of the nicer things about it that you can read it down there, see, He serves as comptroller and vice president of the first African American casualty company in California, and then began a solo public accounting practice firm in California, Nevada, Oregon, and Arkansas. So you can readily see that he has been busy. We welcome him back to Arkansas. Hope that he moves back. My son is 70, put in 50 years up in Minnesota, and next month, or the month after next, he's going to be living down here again as an Arkansian. I thank you for this opportunity to present this great friend of mine. May he be able to spend the rest of his time doing like we are doing, selling Arkansas, selling aviation, and making sure that God comes first in your life. Thank you for this opportunity to be with you.
To let me shine, that's your way. You always walk a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. Without a name for so long, a beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero and everything I would like to be?
Hello, Little Rock. It's good to be back here. And first, my thought was something my daughter said on the way here from the governor's mansion tonight. Said, "Isn't it nice to have the police leading you?" Instead of chasing you. It was a new experience for me. But even if they had chased me, it would be wonderful to be here with you. My life began really at Heath, Arkansas. Many of you never heard of it. It's in the eastern part of the state, and what is sometimes referred to as the bottoms. Strange as it may seem, I met two other men today and last night from Heath. Unbelievable. I left Heath many years ago when I was about 18, and maybe I should say I escaped. And it was on my way to Hampton, what was then Hampton, not University, Hampton Institute. That was my first experience in college, and I must say I owed it entirely to my mother and my principal. Many of you are too young to know Mrs. Anna M.P. Strong. She was the principal of my school, high school in Marianna, and she administered that school as though it was a private institution, entirely her own creation.